Well, planning for Medicaid can be daunting, and knowing when to start planning is also a challenge. But thankfully, our expert in elder law, Gary Price, is here to guide us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Always good to see you, Gary. And I think I've asked you this question in the past, but it's a really good topic to cover, which is we know Medicaid is out there, but we need to know, when is the time? When do we start planning? Or maybe the next question is, when is it too late to plan?
Well, you know, when we talk about Medicaid and Medicaid planning, a couple of things we always talk about is sheltering assets being one of them. How can we shelter assets or protect your assets and still qualify for Medicaid? So I suppose, to answer your question, when would it be too late, is when you've already spent all your assets, unfortunately, for long-term care costs, and there are no more assets to protect. That's when it's too late.
Well, when is a good time? I mean, is there an age at a point that you point to and say, okay, 55 and on we go?
Well, you know, so now we might be talking not necessarily about a crisis situation where we know that long-term care is in that person's immediate future, but when we have time to plan, so therefore long-term care is not in the immediate future, but we're concerned about it, and we want to learn more about it. And, you know, of course, people hear bad things about it, so they want to learn more things about it. And so when we have time to plan, you know, now we're talking about, usually we talk about a couple of things. We talk about, again, sheltering or protecting assets so that you don't have to spend it all down before you qualify for Medicaid. But then a second thing we always talk about is how can we make things easier for the other members of the family, the spouse or the kids? Should something happen to you and you do need long-term care, what can we do to make it easier for the kids? And a lot of times that conversation gets into estate planning documents. You know, I've said talking with you before, Angie, I've said one of the most important documents is the power of attorney instrument. Well, good planning includes discussing that as well. And as far as the timing goes, you know, what we're talking about is elder law. And the most important part about elder law is being able to make these decisions at a time when you still can make those decisions. And so you know, you want to get into this and do this advanced planning when you can still make the decisions. None of us know when we can no longer make that decision. So that's the time to do it, when you can still make the decisions for yourself.
Well, Gary, is it a big process? Is it a lengthy process?
As far as the planning?
Yes.
You know, it depends. You know, think about it. We're talking about protecting assets. So if there's a large amount of assets, there may be a longer discussion. There may be more steps to take. If it's a more limited scope of assets, then maybe not so much. So the conversation and the planning and the knowledge isn't that long, isn't that long a process. Sometimes, though, depending upon what assets you have and how those assets are invested, might take a little bit more work.
Gary, let everybody know how we can get our hands on your wonderful book.
The book, Medicaid in Indiana, just give my office a call at 812-479-8721. We'll be happy to send you a free copy.
Thank you so much. It's always good to talk to you, Gary.